welcome to the iMovie tutorial. We're going to do a tutorial based on you guys that fly quadcopters and stuff, and iMovie is quite a very easy editing software to use to get started with. I found it quite easy, and it is very simple to use. So we're going to stick to the basics, and we're going to sort of like just show how import and start laying your stuff out. So as you can see, iMovie is opened. So obviously create a new one for you, but if you already got one already created, let's start with a fresh one. So you just right mouse click on here, and then I think, I'm not sure, no, my right mouse click's not enabled, so here we just go to file and we say new event, and we call this demo, basically demo flight. But you can call it anything else. You can create lots of different movies underneath this, but just for the moment, we keep things very simple and very basic tutorial. So demo flight we've created now. So what we need to do is drop our footage in here, and it's simple as drag and drop. So we just move that to one side of the screen. Locate your files where you've downloaded them to. If you've got them on the SD card still, I would copy them off your SD card, put them onto the hard drive on your Mac, because then it runs much quicker and it imports faster as well. So these are two footages I did the other day on the Inspire one. So we're going to use new footage, and we're going to import it across. So actually no, that's my old footage, that's the new footage I'd use. So we're going to move the movie files across. So I've got two movie files there, so I'll drag the first one in. So just literally click and drag it across to where it says import media, and we can let go from that point, and then just imports the footage in there. Okay, as simple as that. If you want to do it the other way, you can click on the import icon here, and then it'll ask you to browse where your data or your movie files you want to import in. So you can import in one, two, or a whole bunch of them, basically. So we're just going to use the click and drag feature, which is the very simplest way to do it. So again, this is my other one I want to import. So we just drag it across. No matter where you put it on here, just let go of it, and it will import it in there. And then we just leave that screen in the middle, and we'll just bring the iMovies in front of us here. So as you can see from here, this is the all the footage. It puts it in date order, so I think the most current will be at the top and the oldest at the bottom, so you can actually put a bunch of stuff in here. But I tend to create a different event for each day or each flight I do, so we can keep it nicely bunched together, so it's not all in one great big chunk, because then you can have like loads of footage here and you end up spending ages scrolling through. So just keep it very simple. Okay, so there's we'll start the very basics. So we now need to create our movies. We've got our clips imported. This timer at the top here on the right hand side, as you can see, it's disappeared now, but that's how when you drag clips across, if they're quite large, it takes a while for them to copy, because it copies it from the location you're dragging it from, and it creates its own file or a copy of it in its own library, because when iMovie loads, it creates one great big file and it stores all its library stuff in there. So all it's doing is copying that file. So the original file you've copied in is still in the same state. It's not going to be deleted or erased or modified any way, shape or form. It always makes a copy. So if you do mess this up and balls it up, you can delete it. It won't delete the original file. You can then drag it back into iMovies and start again, basically. It's that simple. Okay, so once that timer has gone on there, all the clips are imported in, then you'll find iMovies will run quickly. iMovie will work brilliantly for you as long as you've got lots of RAM in your Mac, basically, and lots of processing power in your Mac. So the more clips you handle, so for instance, these clips are recorded in 4K from the Inspire one, so I need quite a powerful Mac to be able to do this. So the more you overlay, which we'll get to overlay in a sec, the more iMovies will slow down on playback and stuff. So you need to make sure you've got reason bit. But starting from the beginning, just doing small clips and stuff, iMac Mini or an iMac is perfectly alright, but do get the extra RAM in it. But don't buy the extra RAM with Mac. Go and get RAM from somewhere else, source. I'll put the details and link below here. We can increase your RAM, not paying the Apple prices and stuff. But I got iMac Mini, and it's got 16 gig of RAM in it, and it does the job for me. I do have sometimes slowness, but again, that's because I'm dealing with a lot of large files, and because I've grown in iMovies, I do a lot more advanced stuff as well. So keep it really basic. Here we go. Import the clips in here. Now we need to click on the new tab at the top here where it says new. and it will then say what do you want to do, a trailer or a movie. We'll do trailers later because they're quite fun to play with. So for the moment we're just going to do a very basic movie. So click on movie, and then it'll create the movie file, and then it'll just say, right, what templates do you want to use? So we'll just stick with no theme for the minute. You can add themes, again these are fun to do, but we're just going to stick with just the no themes, okay, keeping it simple. So you double click on no themes, and it asks you what do you want to call your movie. So we're just going to call this demo sample 1, okay, and it says it's going to store it in under the events demo flights, which is what we've highlighted on the left hand side. So we click OK, we're happy with that. Now as you can see, it's now created a movie at the top there called demo sample, and the bottom here is your timeline for that movie. So here's all your footage here, which you can scroll through at any time. And what we're going to do to keep this really basic and simple, okay, at the top here you can play back your footage more times. So if you just click in a particular area like I have and press the space bar, it'll start playing that footage back for you, which is on the right hand side. You'll see it's playing in this preview bit here. So that gives you the opportunity to find the interesting bits on your clips, because you don't want to show all this waiting time if you like taking off and hovering and waiting for a few minutes and go off. You just want to get the interesting bits to make it much. I've seen too many videos out on YouTube that you see it hovering for a few minutes and it flies off for a few minutes and it gets quite boring, so you want to make it more interesting. So that's what we're going to do. So you play across and find the parts you like. I mean, I've done a lot of hovering here. You can sort of guess from the footage shots along the top here that it's still from this point here, go right to that back point, it's all about hovering. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the space bar to stop that, and we're going to go clip up to here, and then we're going to click the space bar again, play it forward for a bit, and check to see that's now taken off. So that's the bit we want to use. So we'll just play forward for a bit just to make sure where it goes. Okay, and I think I'm going to snap that from there. So from this point here, you could, if you literally move your mouse over without clicking anything on it, it will actually play back forward and backwards for you. So you can really find the spot that you want basically. So I'm going to find the spot where it suddenly just goes straight up, okay, up in the air like this. So from that point now, I can move from left to right. Okay, so I can say, right, I'm going to go from this point here, and I'm going to move across a bit. I'm going to see where that takes us. Now you see the preview clips is moving on the right hand side, and so far it's a quick flight up. So and we're going to snap it there. So from that point now I'm going to click, so that's my end point, back to the beginning point, and drag it across, keeping the left mouse click down and dragging it back. As you can see, as you're dragging that back, it's actually playing it backwards for you, so you can go backwards, forwards, so you can exactly find the point in the clip that you exactly want to make a clip off. Okay, then once you've found the bit you're happy with, you let go, highlights it in yellow. So that's the bit you selected, that's the chunk of that you want to use. And it's got a plus sign here. If you click on the plus sign, it will automatically drop it into the bottom bit for you. So that's the first clip you've done. So that's very simple. And then from here you can actually then do things like, say for instance, if you just go back, you can play this back just to make sure the clip you want is correct. So you can think, yeah, that's fine, but it's not moving until it gets about here, so I want to get rid of this chunk here. So if I left mouse click on the beginning part and then I move it in nice and tight to about there, that gets rid of that part at the bottom there. And now if I just make sure, and then from there I can click on it and press play, and got rid of the pause bit. Could have got a bit more, so I can take that in a little bit further, a few extra milliseconds, and then I should have them fine. And then when you highlight this, it will actually tell you that clip you've got there is about 15.5 seconds long. I'm gonna sort of drag it up a bit because I'm gonna shorten the clip down to probably about 10 seconds or so. So get rid of all. Let's do 11 seconds. Okay, so I've got clips down to 11 seconds. When you're doing clips like this, you want to find all the best clips, the ones got the more action in it, the ones got the more better, nice views, and you want to keep them sort of around between 5 and 10 seconds if possible. The less the better, because obviously then you create a nice effect between it all. So I'm not going to worry about effects between it. I'm just going to get some of the footage we like. So if I just go along, find something else that I think I know I was up here, and I did pause for a bit some way, so you can just literally browse through by moving the mouse over and hovering. As you're hovering, you can see it's changing the right hand side. It's showing me what I'm seeing in sort of like not real time, but as I'm dragging basically. So, and I'm just going to keep going because there's a bit I'm looking for. Because if you remember what you filmed, you sort of roughly know. There you go, from there. So from that point, I'm going to click, left mouse click. So I've selected it. Keep it hold on your mouse, drag across, and you can just keep moving until you come to the end bit you don't want to see. And then actually that's not the bit I want. So you can click anywhere else, and it will take it off, then go back again. So that's how you stop selecting it. So you just click anywhere. You even click at the bottom here, then go back up to the top here, and it will go back. And I think it's a bit further along actually, because I'm trying to find it. Let me just find a clip I want. add it in a sec. So no, I missed it. So this is the slow part. Editing is the slow part because you got to really play back your footage in real time to get the bit you want. So then this is where I reset the gimbal. That's it. And then I move it back into position when I flew. Remember that bit. So wait till it gets back. And that's the bit I want. So it starts in there. I'm going to move it across. And see, left mouse click, drag it across until we get the bit we want in frames. That's about 7 seconds. Now click on the plus sign, and it always adds it to the end of the last clip you did. So we've got 2 clips in there so far. And if we play back, I won't play it back already. Just play that part. As you see, it's playing forward, jumps into the second clip, and then we're getting more of the action bit. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this very short one because you get the idea of how you can take your clips, add it in the bottom there. So we keep this very simple because otherwise I could spend hours going through a tutorial, and where in theory iMovie is very simple. So I'm just going to browse through this clip here because there's a section on here that I moved. So I think it was that part there. So I click left mouse click it once, so we select that's where I want to play it from. Press the space bar, and we can watch it on the right hand side to make sure. That's the bit I wanted to get. Is that the right bit? No. I think it's this bit here. So roughly about here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's the bit I want to get. So we get that in there. So watch on the right left hand side where the little bar's going towards. So I can roughly know where I'm going to select it across. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to start it from here. Left mouse click, hold it down, drag your icon across, and as you drag along slowly, it will start playing forward. So the faster you drag forward to the right hand side, the quicker the playback at the end. So you can literally go through. We can just go backwards and forwards. Let's see, the more memory you got, the better processor you got on your Mac, the more smooth this gets. So you can literally like skip really fast forwards. I'm just going to take it right over here to that point there. 28 seconds, bang it in there. Again, this is just very much basic. If you find your timeline on the bottom here is going out, because obviously there's a lot going back on, if I scroll back, you can actually use here to shrink down the timeline. So it brings it closer, see closer bits. When you want to start zooming in onto a clip, particularly you want to shorten down, then you can just sort of make it bigger, which is on the right hand side here. And just zoom it in and out on the clip bits, so you can make it sort of as big as you want, so you can work on them. So that we're just going to keep it very basic. So we've got 2 here, very basic movie, and so far the whole movie that we've done on the clip so far is 1 minute and 47 seconds. So what you want to do is when you do things like this, do flying, find all the best bits, cut the little sections out and put them at the bottom here like I've just shown you. Keep your clips tiny. So if you've got a lot of footage you've done for a particular day, and you've done, I know, say you've got about 4 or 5 movie files on your SD card and stuff, and drop it all in here, drop it all into your iMovies here, and just go through and just find all the interesting bits. If you had a crash, or you're flying too fast, or you've got a nice building, you've got some nice views, just take literally 5-10 seconds, because when you're watching stuff back, you only need like 5 seconds. There's enough time for somebody to enjoy that part and then the next part, and keep them all nice and tightly together, lots of little clips, and don't go over anything more than sort of 5 minutes, because people start getting bored after 5 minutes watching a particular shot. So try and keep everything close together, punch down under 5 minutes if possible. Then you'll make a very interesting video that a lot of people end up watching. If it becomes too big, it becomes particularly boring, and you won't get everyone watching it completely, and you won't get many views on your YouTube channel. So keep them really tight. So we're just going to find one more clip I want to do to finish off with, and it's somewhere at the last bit here, I think it was, where I zoomed away. So that's the bit I'm going to zoom away with. So we find where it starts zooming or moving away. That's the bit. So we're going to go from there, and we're going to then move it right across till the end bit there. So 8 seconds. Okay. I haven't done the clips any smaller because I haven't got much movie footage I did for that day in here to be able to do lots of bits. I'm just literally going to show a sample what I'm actually doing. So I would like to keep this clip in the middle here a bit shorter, and try and keep it always under like 10 seconds if possible. But just an example. So this is literally very best part how to cut out little sections in your movie files and then put them at the bottom here. Very simple to do. Now, when we play that back, you can see between the changes, it's just there you go. So quick change. Right, we want to put something. We'll put some nice sliding transitions in here. Make it a bit more interesting when it slides from one clip to another clip and stuff like that. Also remember, when you're transitioning from one clip to another clip, make sure they're not the same clip or the same place, because it looks tacky. It looks like you've missed a few frames out. So make sure each clip goes to something completely different. So for instance, here I was up there in the air there. Clip changes to a point where I'm moving around. When that's finished, it then changes to a completely different location of the building at the bottom here, and then at the back here it changes again from another view of the building straight back to zooming out. So it makes a very much sort of interesting clip to do. So we're going to put some transitions in there. So excuse me, there on the left hand side, down to transitions, click on transitions, and here gives you some loaded effects. This is the basic sort of effects for iMovie. You don't want to put too many. Some of these transitions can be a bit sort of, if you just highlight over it, it'll show you what they do. So if you just move backwards and forwards, and it will just show you what type of effects it does basically. And you don't want to do too. Some of these wipes are sort of a bit cheapy or looks a bit nasty. So I tend to always stick to like cross blurs or cross this one here, or fade to white. Don't use spin, don't like spins, or I might sometimes use this cube type sort of effect, or it'd be a swap in and out basically. That can be quite interesting. So we're just going to stick to like a cross blur, very straightforward. So you just left mouse click it, drag it down to the middle between the clips here, and let go. And you do that for each one that you want. So I'm just going to use one particular transitions. And then I'm going to do the last one as a fade to black. So click on the fade to black, drag it down right to the end of my clip, and then that's it, finished. So now if we play back the file, so there we go, and then you see the transitions between it. Oh, it doesn't always show it because my memory and stuff, but when you render it, it is very smooth. So it's not actually going to show on the preview because my RAM's so again, the more RAM you have, the faster you process it get, then you can see these transition clips actually work. So let's try again. So sometimes they'll show on the preview, sometimes they don't show on the preview. Oh, play. Let's try again. No, it's not going to show it on there until I actually render it off. So that's the clip bit. So that's the bit we want. Say for instance you want to add in a bit of titles in here. So say for instance at the beginning of your movie you want to introduce what you're doing basically. So so for instance, see we'll go to titles on the left hand side, current library at the bottom there, titles. Then here gives you sort of, in a sec when it loads, it'll show up lots of different titles you can use. And see my Mac's slow today, so and I tend to stick to sort of ones. There's lots of different ones here you can play with them. If you highlight on them and just move your mouse backwards and forwards, it gives you a rough idea what the titles do. See, okay, so we'll pick a title. So let's find something you can do. Because once you've loaded it on there, it'll show it over it, so it overlays it. So let's do like these sort of spectacular. Let's pick that one. So it will. You can click on it, and then we just drag it down to the clip that you want, and then you just where the blue marker is there, it shows you where do you want to drop it on now, where do you want it to start from. And as you're moving backwards and forwards, it's showing the preview there exactly where it's going to come in basically. So if I'm going to take it right back to the beginning there and drop it down. and then it comes in and say what title do you want to put in here. So I'm just going to say Old Duke of York. Okay, so and then I click on the little arrow at top it, or you can press enter, and now it says Old Duke of York. So when we go back to the beginning and we press space while we play it, there you go, it's coming in, Old Duke of York. Okay, if you want that to go on for a bit longer than 4 seconds, because by default a lot of this is just the 4 seconds, you can click on it, and at the end of the bit here, the arrow changes. So you can then left mouse click again and hold it down, and you can drag it, and you can say how long do you want to run for? 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Again, I've always find clips are great for 4 seconds. It's enough per person to read it. But if you want that to go on a bit longer, you can drag it to how long you want it, or you can drag it the same length as the clip, so it'll stay up there for the very first clip. See, okay, and then that gives you. Then if we play it back, the Old Duke of York. There you go, and then it skips off. And you can do that for any of the clips here. You can literally just find one you want, drop it down and over, and then it'll give you an idea. Let's get another one. So if we do, I'll pick another one for a sample. So if we do this one here, so you can double. If you move, you got like a marker here that tells you where you want to play from. So you can change that by clicking anywhere along here to change the marker. So if I put the marker there, when you double click on the title you want to put there, which is I think it was that on the soft edge, double click, it'll put it on there. Then you can then click on it. Once it's highlighted in yellow, you should be able to drop and drag it to whatever part of the clip you want it to start from. See, so I'm going to put it like there, and on the right hand side where it's got the preview, it's highlighted saying title, so you can now title that over. So I'm going to say 50 feet. 50 feet. 50 feet from building. Just something. I'm just going to put something. Press enter, and then click the X button on top here. So now when we click there and press spacebar to play it, there goes the phase working now. PC's catching up. There, 50 feet from building, and then. You're going to see now. You can see the actual fade effect now working on your clips. Which my Mac's slowly catching up. It's a little bit sluggish. So that's the trouble with editing. The more complex and bigger clips you use, the more the Mac has to struggle to work with it. Again, with editing, you can spend a fortune on a lot of hardware basically. So you can see that's not really real time it's catching up with. I mean, I need a more powerful Mac to do 4K stuff. I mean, when you're doing 1080p, it is a lot quicker. But using 4K, as you can see on my Mac, it's got 16 gig of RAM. It struggles. So eventually, I'm going to need an upgrade if I'm going to carry on working with 4K footage. But that just gives you an idea of like how to put a clip down, how to put a transition between the two clips to give it a nice sort of fading in and fade out effect. Okay, keep your clips nice and short. How to put a title on, which is very much drop and drag. Okay, all this is drop and drag, very simple. Double click to re-edit, type in what you want to change the title to, and then drag and drop to make it longer or shorter on the clip side. And then with the mouse, like as you can see here, I'm not doing any left mouse click at all. It's just literally moving over. I can move forward at whatever speed I want. So I can just travel really fast, or go slow down. So you can really get to nitty gritty, saying, do I want the clip to run from there? Can I cut that down a little bit further? Is that the right way for the title to come in on and stuff? So you can get real detail. So you've got full editing on there. The more powerful the Mac, the more smooth this space he gets for you. So this is just literally really simple to lay down. So say for instance that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to add any more effects because I know you can add soundtrack and stuff like that to it, but I've got no Mac MP3 files. So if you had an MP3 file, you do the same. You just drag it from your folder location, and you can drop it straight down onto this timeline here. And it will then give you a little pointer to say where do you want to lay the soundtrack to start from. So from this one I would put music. I wonder if I've got some music. Let me have a look. Not sure if I've got any music to hand. Let me have a look. Music. Oh, another thing I want to do is pictures. So while we've got this open, so if we quickly I'll show you how to do a picture-in-picture as well. Well, actually, we'll do that on another tutorial, how to do picture-in-picture. But to add a soundtrack, so it is very straightforward. Not sure if I've got any MP3 files to hand. Let me have a quick nose through. Jimmy Java. I'm not sure if iTunes will allow me to drop and drag a copyright file. Let me have a look. So this, I'll just pick an MP3 file anyway. So you just drag, and as you can see, as I'm dropping it over the iMovie program, you can see it's already created the MP3 file. The MP3 file is quite long; it's about 10 minutes long, basically. So it's longer than my clips are, but you can shorten that down. So let's do, for instance, if I want it to start right at the beginning, so I'll leave it at the beginning there, let go, and as you can see, it's dropped the file straight in. Okay, but I want to shorten the file down. So if we close this down, so we can find the end of the file here, and then we can then left mouse click and drag the file back to the last part of my movie bits. There you go. And if we then zoom in onto the clip, so we get a closer shot, because what you want to do, as the music's playing along, you want it, and gets towards the end, you want it to sort of fade out. So there's a little dot bit there, and when you highlight it, the mouse will change to these two arrows pointing left and right. So you left mouse click, you drag it, and as you can see, it's dragging out the fade out. Okay, so I want the fade out to appear about there. So it's the last sort of 1.4 seconds. So as it's coming down, it'll start fading music out towards the end, and then completely stop. So a nice sort of fade out effect, basically. But I might actually make that go on, because I've got like a fade to black effect here. So I'll take that a bit further to there. Okay, and then drag that back to about there. So it starts, the music will start fading out to that part of the, and then it will come fade to black, and the music will be done. Really nice sort of ending effect. So it's very straightforward. So that's all we've done. Don't keep these. If you leave the music file way over here, so it's actually 10 minutes long, and by the time you saved it and you play it back, you'll find when you get to the end of here, it won't stop. It'll carry on playing the music, and it'll just be a complete blank. So make sure you do cut the music back down to the same length as your clips. So your clips is 1 minute and 56 seconds long. So you want to make sure the music one is just below that, like I've just done here. Otherwise, you're just getting a long ending otherwise, basically. And what we'll do is, we're on another tutorial, we're going to do how we can add in things at the end here to say, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or adding extra titles at the back here. I'll do a start and an end intro, but just keeping this one very basic for you guys to start. It's all drop and drag. That's how simple and easy it is. So what we've done with how to import clips into our movie. Well, basically creating a movie, dropping off images in, taking the sections we want out, put them in the bottom of the timeline here, adding a few titles, which is again drop and drag, and then we're using the transitions and the titles on the left hand side here, and adding a soundtrack at the bottom here. I'm not sure if you can hear the sounds. If we play it now, no, I don't think you can hear the sound because I don't got the sound plugged in. But that's the sample we've done, and I will put this on the end of this tutorial so you can see what the finish would look like when it's played back. So now what I'm going to do is I need to save this now. So very simple to do. There is options within iMovie to say, do you want to export this directly to YouTube, which you can do, but I tend to like to put them to a file and do that later date, because you can then batch them all up and then do it in one great big go. So it's really simple. I'm not going to worry about directly importing it straight into iTunes. We're just going to literally save it. So you go up to this button here on the right hand side at the top here, it says share. So we'll click on share, then it gives you options here. Forget all the other ones, we're just going to keep it simple. Straight to file, okay? And it'll prompt up your file, so that's what you're going to call it. Gives you opportunity to change the title if you want, and description of it as well, and any tags you want to use. Tags don't really matter on here because it does within the iMovies, but it doesn't do when you export it to YouTube, because you have to manually edit them in as well. Video format, leave that as standard. Resolution, that's 1080p quality. So that'll, if you got, because this is 4K, it will convert the 4K down to 1080p quality. And estimated footage for 1.1 1 minute and 56 seconds. It's going to be 143 megabytes in size. That's perfect. You can sort of say optimize quality to like best pro version, so it's going to be 1.5 gigabytes to export. I mean, if your clips are really good and you've done them really well and are good quality, I would always put it in the highest quality as possible. 1080p is the best one to use. People are using 4K on YouTube, but not everyone has a 4K telly at home to play back. But the majority of people watching is 1080p. So I would leave that on 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080, and I always go for the best as well. So then we click next, and it says now what do you want to save this file as. So I'm just going to drop this down. I'm going to save it onto my data drive here. We're going to call this demo 1, and we're going to save it. Now what it does, it prompts this into the theatre side here, and then it will show it's creating the file, so it shows you how long it's got left basically. And on the right hand side here, where it's got the little circle, if you click on that or highlight it, it will show you, and it'll give you, once it's going through, it'll give you estimated time that's finished saving that file. So this is sort of roughly saying it's going to take 3 minutes and then it's finished. It does prompt out little boxes every now and again saying it's now exported. Okay, and then you can then safely then upload it to YouTube manually. But always make sure this is finished. When this is completely gone, you know the file's completely exported, and it'll be on your data drive under what you called it. So I've called it demo sample 1. So we'll wait till that finishes, and I'll get this up online, and you can see. So at the end of this tutorial, there should be the demo sample for you to watch next. Cheers for watching, and see you on our next tutorial. Please comment below if there's any tutorials on iMovie of like sport edits, snapping things together, adding more effects in there, and adding like picture in picture, adding some photographs and things like that to make it a bit more spectacular for you, so you can use these tutorials to make your videos much more better for your YouTube channel. Cheers, safe flying, and speak to you later. Thank you, bye.